Now that we're alone, let me cut to the heart of the matter. You are skilled in manipulating the elements, and not just a single element, but multiple. Is that correct?
Paimon knew that you were hinting at something from the moment we met. You've known all along.
That's right. If the other contenders were to catch wind of your elemental abilities, let's just say it would cause some unwanted misunderstandings. If I'm not mistaken, you share these considerations, given your reluctance to use elemental skills even in the heat of a match. When I talk about that which I see or hear in you, this is not poetic symbolism at play. I mean these things in the truest sense possible. Since a young age, I have been attuned to the tidings of nature. I hear the breath of the wind and the whispers of the leaves. It is things of this nature that I also hear from within you. Nothing more.
As crazy as all that sounds, somehow Paimon still believes you.
My humble abilities are negligible compared to your incredible feats. To think a human could wield the elements without a vision, and not to mention your incredibly complex scent, like that of some mysterious being.
Hey, stop evaluating us based on our smell! It's weird!
Could you perchance enlighten me as to how you managed to obtain your combined elemental abilities? Extraordinary. So then, might I be so bold as to inquire how exactly it is that you learned to channel elemental energy and even wield it in combat?
Aw, it's nothing really. Paimon just told him whatever came to mind. It's been a long journey, and many things have happened along the way. Somehow, he just naturally learned to use the elements through it all. Honestly, even Paimon doesn't understand how it all works.
Perhaps such unfathomable things are the essence of the gods and the visions they grant. However, I still wish to have the honor of seeing how you wield the elements. Perhaps it may yet reveal something to me. Of course, I too shall share with you all that I've learned. That will make it a fair exchange. Now then, let's test your skills.
Cool it!
Do your worst!
Incoming! Cut to the chase!
Freeze! This moment will be frozen in time. Dodge this!
Wind blade!
Cool it!
Flee! Hear my prayer! Yield!
Freeze! Dodge this!
Speed of light! Nowhere to hide!
Cool it! Oh, so sorry.
Do your worst!
Your skills in battle are truly beyond reproach. Even with your opponent's speed, he shouldn't be able to overwhelm you. Your opponent is skilled at controlling his breathing and maintaining balance, which enables him to execute moves that many would find impossible. He relies entirely on the element of surprise to defeat his opponents. In other words, as long as you remain mindful of his ability to detect weak points, then his attacks should pose no Please, save your thanks. If anything, I should be thanking you for the opportunity to witness your command of the elements that defies all known principles. The world is a truly mysterious place, it seems, and one will always encounter that which is still unknown.
You seem kind of obsessed with visions, but don't you already have your own? Why are you so intent on exploring the connection between visions and the elements?
I desire to know what meaning visions have to the gods, and what influences the gods' decision to grant humans these visions. My apologies. You must be completely in the dark regarding such matters. For allowing me the honor of witnessing your mystical ways, I am willing to answer any questions you may have. So that's what you're curious about? Then allow me to tell you more. As you well know, a vision hunt decree is currently underway in Inazuma. Visions are a gift bestowed by the divine. People that have accepted this gift are now having their visions confiscated inexplicably, sometimes in circumstances that leave their original recipients dead. In the outset, supposing each of the 7 archons had their criteria for granting visions to living beings, then does the current Electro Archon now doubt these criteria, or even the act in and of itself? Not to mention, with no new Electro-visions having been granted for such a long time, it would seem that we can infer something of the Raiden Shogun's feelings on the matter.
She sounds less like an Archon and more like a tyrant.
As far as I know, she is an Archon that pursues eternity. She will relentlessly carry out her will with no regard to what others may think or feel. Liyue's contracts are meant to benefit all who reside within Liyue. But what does Inazuma's pursuit of eternity bring to its people? It goes without saying that the people locked within Inazuma do not fare well these days.
Sounds a lot like something the god you encountered in the beginning would do.
Oh? Have you encountered the Electro Archon before? With time, we will change. But the Shogun will remain the same. If you wish to find her, she will forever be there. There will come a day when I too shall wish to understand the answers to eternity from her. Ah, the time for your match is approaching.
Oh, right! We got so distracted talking about Inazuma that Paimon forgot all about the tournament!
If you have no other matters to attend to, then we can return together. Very well, let's go. I wish to see who will obtain the vision.
Why isn't he here yet? Never mind. We can start by making your entrance first. Everyone, listen up! Your attention, please! We've reached the climax of the Crux Clash! This is the final match! We've seen many exciting battles today, and now, at long last, the 2 finalists have emerged. Now, I'd like to introduce our first combatant. Though few have seen him, his reputation knows no bounds. He strikes fear into the heart of Osile, and the mere mention of his name causes even the Fatui Harbingers to turn pale in the face. Introducing Liyue's Traveling Hero!
Wow!
I've been waiting for this moment!
I'm sure everyone witnessed his thrilling match in the semifinals. But today's final round will surely take things up a notch. As for our other combatant, he still hasn't arrived. Oh, come on, what could be taking him so long? You can't just forfeit for not showing up like in previous rounds. This is the finals. Apologies, everyone just sit tight. We've got no other choice. If he doesn't show up, we'll just have to postpone the match.
Wait a moment. Something doesn't seem right about this. Captain Beto, perhaps we should check on the prize. Traveler, come with us.
Let me see. It's gone all right. The vision is missing.
Huh? Did somebody steal it? Who would dare do such a thing in broad daylight?
We don't know when it was taken exactly. I never thought that someone here would have the guts to cross Captain Beto.
No need to worry. Even the craftiest sleight of hand does not escape nature's watchful gaze. The culprit has only acted recently. They will not have gotten far. The vision was the prize that I had offered, and it was my responsibility to look after it. I will be certain to get it back.
Well, if you insist. I'll leave the matter to you then. I'll stay here and try to offer some explanation to all the spectators that came to see the match.
If you would, please come with me.
But we're on an island. Where could he have possibly run to?
Come with me. I can sense the winds are coming.
Huh? A wind current?
The winds have come at an opportune moment. Let's seize this chance. Ride the winds upward. From there, we can continue our search for clues.
By the way, what made you suddenly think of checking the prize in the first place?
I heard the moment it was stolen.
Well, then why didn't you stop him?
You'll see shortly.
Leaving so soon! No escape!
Incoming! Hey!
Cool it! No escape! Ha! Huh. Dodge this! That's it!
Healed!
The shield is broken.
Don't get frostbite! Freeze! Can't run from death!
Next time, be sure to...
What's the hurry?
The winds are guiding us forward. The
You can hear that too? What does it sound like?
hubris. This way. Follow me. There may be an ambush waiting for us up ahead, but I trust that you are well prepared for such a scenario.
Cut to the chase! Incinerate! Speed light!
Oh, so sorry. Freeze!
Incoming! With sword comes shadow.
Hoarders, they're here! Get them!
Treasure hoarders, just as I expected. In which case, please stand back.
Nowhere to hide.
Have a little taste!
Speed of light.
Gotcha. The hunter become.
You caught up with me? How is that possible? I had even prepared a...
No boat could ever match the speed of the...
The wind? What are you talking? Drat! If I only had a vision. Or, if I could activate this one, then you'd never be able to catch me.
This has nothing to do with visions. You may be skilled at vanishing from a crowd, but it seems you know precious little about how to conceal yourself from nature's gate. Additionally, your chosen escape route was flawed for reasons that are too numerous to go into. And on top of that, I could hear your boasting and proud laughter in the wind, In other words, you failed to meet any of the basic criteria for a grand heist. Namely, speed, stealth, and style.
You...
But most disappointing of all is the state of the vision in your hand. It appears that the vision doesn't respond to human desire in
Fine! I admit it. I've had my eyes on this vision for quite some time now. I decided to register after hearing that this fighting contest was full of a bunch of lousy fighters. I fought my way to the finals and...
Aha! So you were supposed to be our opponent!
I'd intended to win the contest through skill alone all along. But then, after watching the semi-finals, I knew that I didn't stand a chance. But I wasn't about to give up on the vision so easily after coming all this way. Since there was no use in trying to face you in the match, I decided to put my skills to good use while everyone's attention was on you and Beto. I was convinced I prepared thoroughly for my escape, but somehow, you still managed to catch up to me. Drat. This should have gone differently. I know an empty threat when I hear one. Fine. But you'd better mean it. It didn't activate one.
You know, according to the laws of the sea, the penalty for stealing is breaking the
Huh? You're not serious, are you?
Not to mention that the item you stole was a prize. You didn't show up for the final match, and you damaged the reputation of the captain of the Crux fleet. It seems that it would be only fair to brand the word thief on your forehead with a hot iron.
Whoa! We don't need to go that far, do we?
I never would have guessed you could be so cruel. If this is where talking gets me, then forget it. I'll risk a fight.
Don't get frostbite.
No! Do what you want, but please, don't brand my forehead, please!
He has persevered to the bitter end, and now death looms near. Yet still the gods do not bestow their favor upon him. Put down the vision and leave. I've changed my mind. No further punishment for you.
Huh?
What's wrong? Are you asking for more punishment? It's up to you. Such willingness is commendable, and fits the way of the...
No need for that. Thank you for releasing me. You truly are generous.
Huh? Paimon doesn't get it. Were you just trying to scare him?
I take no pleasure in frightening others. I was just testing all possibilities while the vision remained in his hand. When people are forced into a corner, that is when their greatest strength will appear. But unfortunately, nothing happened. Yes, I wanted to know whether it were possible for an extinguished vision to be From the moment he stole the vision, I decided to use him for this experiment. I've tried many other methods in the past, though few tales tell of a masterless vision reawakening. After seeing you command multiple elements, I figured that nothing is impossible. Come, why don't you give it a try? Let's see if you can give me the answer I'm hoping.
The vision didn't seem to respond at all.
I see. So you are also unable to rekindle the vision. No matter. This was expected. I suppose this vision is still mine to take for now.
Yeah, what's the story behind this vision anyway?
The story begins with an old friend. He was once a good friend of mine. One day he asked me about a sword art of which he had heard, the Musono Hitotachi. I told him it can only be witnessed when divine punishment is administered. It is the pinnacle of the Raiden Shogun's skill, a symbol of ultimate power. But he replied, there must be one who can withstand it. There will always be those who dare to brave the lightning's glow. Then, the Vision Hunt decree arrived. People's aspirations were stripped away as the Raiden Shogun began to construct her ideal of eternity. While I was fleeing from place to place, I heard that my friend had challenged the Vision Hunters to a duel before the throne. A solemn yet brutal challenge. The defeated face divine punishment, while the victors gain a second chance. Perhaps he thought he of all people should make a stand. Coming face to face with the Musono Hitotachi was all that he truly desired, after all. When I arrived at Tenshukaku, the duel was over. I heard his sentence of divine punishment, his severed blade hitting the ground. Perhaps that was the glory he had yearned to witness. In his last moments, what expression was on his face? Before I knew it, I had stepped forward and snatched the dying vision and was running from the scene. All I knew was that I mustn't let his hope, which burned so brightly, become buried among the ice-cold statue of a god. Perhaps one day, I may come to find that all I have done is meaningless. But as a wandering samurai, I find meaning in traveling and the sprawling beauty of nature that lies along the way, while still retaining the warrior way in my heart.
Kazuha.
It's just another way of saying I do as I please. All right then, it's time we returned. Allow me to gather the wind for us once more.
leave already? Maybe she went back to her ship.
If you're looking for the captain, she was summoned by Lady Ningguang. It seems that the Crux clash got out of hand this time and has attracted her attention. Captain Beidou was muttering something about Ningguang being a stick in the mud as she headed off to Liyue Harbor.
It's not unusual for those two to be at odds with one another.
But still, Captain Beidou was disappointed she didn't get to witness the crowning of the new champion. She had been looking forward to it for quite some time.
The one who stole the vision was originally to be this hero's opponent in the final round. He knew he stood no chance of winning the match, thus the wicked idea of stealing the prize took hold in his mind. In which case, the Crux clash comes to a clear-cut conclusion.
Huh? So that's what happened? If that's the case, then the rules stipulate that he is disqualified, and our hero here is the champion.
Paimon thought we'd win and all, but not like this.
It doesn't matter. As the saying goes, honor given is honor deserved. Now, let me go prepare the champion's medal to award you.
Yes, I believe so. Though Captain Beidou is no longer present here, I'll be sure she receives word of it. But the voyage to Inazuma is a treacherous one. You will be plagued by a perpetual tempest the entire In fact, the relentless rain and wind are also an embodiment of the Raiden Shogun's will to—
Hold on a second. You're saying she can change the weather just with the power of her mind?
Let us not forget that this is one of the 7 Archons. If Liyue's Morax could form Guyun's stone forest by casting down his stone spears, then it should come as no great surprise that the Raiden Shogun is capable of summoning an eternal tempest. Suffice it to say that if you wish to journey to Inazuma, the Alcor will need some time. You will be notified once all the preparations have been made. In the meantime, I intend to embark on a journey of my own. I will travel all across the vast lands of Liyue in the hope of finding a way to reawaken the vision.
Paimon believes you'll find a way for sure.
Thank you. May both our journeys prove meaningful. One final word of warning. The part of your...
Ad Astra Abyssosk. What can I do for you, traveler? Ah, yes. I've heard that you've already made arrangements with the captain of the crew. Now that I think about it, it's been quite some time since I last visited those lands.
There you are. You're the traveler that Beidou will be taking to Inazuma, right? Oh, is that right? Well, it's an honor to meet you. The fleet has nearly completed reprovisioning. Once the crews have taken a head count, we can get on. Captain Beidou sent me to come get you. We'll weigh anchor.
Seems Beidou is the captain of her word.
Of course. There are many things that the captain insists upon. I'm sure you'll see for yourself once you're on board.
So you'll be heading off then? Whether the journey before you leads to the heights of the heavens, or the depths until we meet again. Ad Astra Abyssosk.
Oh, it's kind of hard to say goodbye now.
Well, if that's how you feel, what—
So there's another Catherine in Inazuma? See? There's no need to get all sappy now.
Well, I guess it's time for you to bid farewell to Liyue Harbor. Now,
Okay, thanks for coming all this way to let us know.
just following orders. I'll see you two aboard the Alcor.
May have lived.
What's the hurry? Ah!
Ahoy there, mateys!
Ah, you finally made it. All these years, come rain or storm, the Crux fleet has never... Don't look too serious, I'm only joking. Well, now that everyone's here, we set sail for the land engulfed by storm and tempest.
Anchors away!
Ahoy there. So, you finally made it. You sure kept me waiting, Captain. And it appears we have a couple of stowaways. Or perhaps I should say, honored guests.
Shush!
You can blame your almighty Shogun. The tempests around Inazuma have been growing all the more fierce lately. Though the fleet was fully up to the challenge, the inclement weather still caused some delay. Now then, let me introduce everyone. This is
You don't know how long I've been waiting to see you.
Toma. These two are...
Oh, no need for introductions. Their reputation precedes them.
Toma's resided on Rito. If you run into any problems here, just talk to Toma. But if...
No need to worry. I'm sure we'll get along just fine.
Good. Then if it's all settled, I'll be going. I wouldn't want to be caught with my sails down here. I do have a wanted fugitive on board after all.
Oh, right! Kazuha!
Until next time, traveler. Remember to give it your all, no matter...
Fair seas, Captain Beidou! But
Now then, first things first. We need to go get you registered at the border checkpoint.
Paimon thought we were supposed to be keeping things on the down low. Are we just gonna walk into the government's hands?
Don't underestimate the reaches of the Sakoku Decree. You wouldn't be able to avoid inspection even if you tried. So we have to play by the rules, even if we're...
Hello? Please take. You must be new here.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me? Please provide the information requested and also declare any goods you are carrying with you. Currently, only members of the International Trade Association are up.
We,
My apologies, but I'll have to ask you to
here are their entry papers, for your kind perusal.
What? Ugh, take your time. No rush or anything.
I just wanted to see what you'd say. Sorry, but
I see. Okay. Your papers are all in order. Welcome to Rito.
So, where do we go next?
the Outlander Affairs Agency. They only check entry permits here. If...
Sheesh.
Well, let's not forget that to everyday folk in Inazuma, as the word suggests, Outlanders aren't very welcome in Inazuma with the not even on Rito, where they've established an outsider settlement. I like how you think. I've got a feeling we're going to get along very... Now, let's head over to the Outlander Affairs Most of the current rules were put in place by the administration of Rito, the Kanjo Commission.
The Kanjo Commission?
Yes, one branch of the Tri-Commission of Inazuma, responsible for growing and managing the nation's wealth. You really haven't heard of it before?
You've...
Yes, please.
Okay, the processing fee...
2 million?
That's right. 1 mil...
Paimon wasn't so much question.
Ah, Mr. Toma, it's you. By way of courtesy, allow me to reduce it to...
Thank you ever so much, but as this is just a processing fee, I think 600 Mora should cover it if I'm paying on their behalf. I'll treat you to dinner too.
That's not how you haggle. By all means, bargain the price down, but...
All right then, as you wish, Mr. Toma. I will make a record.
Much obliged. It's not as mind-boggling as you think. Processing fee is just a figure of speech. The way some here at the agency see it, the fees are easy money, so it becomes a question of how much they can make. So when the day comes that some poor merchant from overseas with more money than sense gets stuck here and needs to apply for residency...
Then they'll milk them for all they're worth.
Exactly. It's at times like this that having a local friend really comes in handy. Yes, but when you're an outlander in Inazuma, far from home in this closed nation era, there's very little that can be done about it. The most that overseas merchants can do to look after themselves is stick together. That's how the International Trade Association came about.
So it's a trade association built by and for Outlanders?
Yep. And as well as advancing commercial interests, the association provides help, support. Essentially, it's an association devoted to both commercial excellence and survival skills. I see. After all, the Raiden Shogun is the most exalted and revered one in all of Inazuma. She is a deity who reigns on high, while all other life gazes up in awe. Huh. I was going to say nothing is set in stone when it comes to who you will encounter in this world. Who's to say you won't happen to run into the Raiden Shogun one day after lunch?
Uh-huh. And is that likely?
Okay, I'll give it to you straight. I know of a way to introduce you to the Raiden Shogun.
Really?
I mean, it will take all the resources I have at my disposal, but it can be done. However, before we get there, connections come at a high price, you understand?
Not you too.
No. In this instance, when I say price, I'm not talking about Mora. In fact, there's no real cost as such. It's just that if this is something you really want, you'll have to agree to help other people solve some of their problems first. I like to do things in a way that keeps everybody happy. It's my own personal rule for dealing with situations like this.
Sounds very reasonable to Paimon. You're the man in the middle, so you have to trade favors to keep everyone...
Here's the situation. As I touched upon earlier, the members recently, things seem to have gotten more difficult than ever for them, so just the head of the association...
Why in the world can't I use my permit?
Huh? Hello there. You must be seeking refuge with the International... Ah, good. That's a relief. You need to be careful, or you'll
We heard the association has been having some difficulties lately.
Yes. Left, right, and center. Obstacles at every turn. But that's nothing new for us.
The Sakoku decree certainly makes things difficult for anyone who wants to come here from overseas.
But it's not the root cause of our woes. The Sakoku decree might restrict our scope of activity. But in and of itself, it doesn't stop us from being able to enjoy a No. What's those Mora grubbers from the Kanjo Committee?
Oh, of the 3 commissions...
That's right. They impose astronomical... They just issued a new tax decree recently that, for some reason, completely changes the way...
Crystal Marrow? What's that?
Something that most of us in the association had never heard of before either, until the new decree came along. Eventually, one of the older Liyue merchants recalled that he once shipped a batch of it to Snezhnaya in his youth. So, in order to pay our taxes, we began an arduous search for this crystal marrow. But then we found we'd only managed to create... Exactly. It's a vicious cycle. The consequence of which is that our taxes will soon... But this is a nation...
Sounds... What do you think we should do? But Carice is the...
Right.
Okay.
That... I've actually done Hey, if I remember correctly, our usual meeting point with him is under a...
Got it! We're on?
Which one should I choose?
don't think I recognize you. Are you new arrivals? So, what do you need with me? The sheer nerve. You don't go around asking questions like that. If I gave you my sources, I might as well hand you the whole darn business. Trade secret. Got it? You know what trade and secret mean, right?
This guy's got a bad attitude.
Ha! Are you even buying? Oh, I see what's going on here. Karisu and his associates sent you here to try and plead their case, didn't they? They're wasting their time. The price is non-negotiable, not by a single Mora.
Hey, what's your problem?
Get out of here, go on. Tell them they're lucky to be buying from me in the first place, and they ought to be more grateful. If it weren't for me, they'd be in seriously hot water.
What are we gonna do? There's no talking to this guy. Good idea. Let's check back in with him.
That was cool.
Actually, we're having a little trouble.
No? Well, by all means, tell me what you need. Getting you to go fixing things when you've only just arrived is quite a demand. Oh, that guy? I'm familiar. He used to be a bit of a sorry sight, selling shells that he collect on the beach just to get by, but he seems to have suddenly shot up in the world recently. I can only assume he must have found himself a patron after leaving the International Trade Association.
Huh. You're saying he used to be a member of the International Trade Association? So he's an Outlander too?
Yes. Couldn't you tell when you spoke to him? That's right. Werner was born in Mondstadt. Then, when Inazuma closed to the outside world, he was one of a group of Outlanders that ended up stranded on Rito.
Huh. What a bummer.
The International Trade Association was initially very generous to him, but over time, with decree after decree, the association members found it increasingly difficult to make ends meet.
So he left the association and turned his back on them.
I'm sure it's more nuanced than that.
Really?
Well then, it sounds like you may have found a way in with him.